Hello, this is RJ Epic here, and welcome to the Comic Countdown number 12. Yes, I said earlier today that you guys may be getting this tonight, and I decided to go with it because earlier today you guys got Comic Call number 42, and that was quite a haul. So if you guys have not watched that video, I recommend you go watch that. That was my last video. So just click on the channel and go back and watch it. Because the books I got today were awesome. But tonight we are also gonna do the comic countdown for the last haul before today's haul. And if you guys didn't watch that, I recommend watching that too, because I got some really awesome books in this one. Also, I don't know which haul I prefer. I think I prefer today's haul a little more, just because I did some different stuff that I usually don't do. But I haven't even read all my books yet. I've read 3 books out of 8 that I got today. So that comic countdown won't be coming tonight. That will come maybe tomorrow, but I have a busy day tomorrow, so we'll see. If not tomorrow or tomorrow night, then it will hopefully for sure be coming Monday then. But anyway, let's go through and show you the books that I got to go through. Also, before we do that, if you guys do not know what the comic countdown is, it is one of my favorite series. It is a series we go through and look at the books I got for my latest haul, or hauls in this case, because I still have another one to do. And we rank the issues from my least favorite to my favorite. So the books I got to rank in this haul are Deadpool number 5, which is the secret comic variant. Spider-Man / Deadpool issue number 1, another variant. It's the action figure variant. The Amazing Spider-Man number 6, the world's greatest superhero. Spider-Woman number 2, my long-awaited next issue. Batman and Robin Eternal issue number 13, the Mark of Cain. And Invincible Iron Man number 5, one of the best ongoing comic series as of right now. But yes, I am gonna get started here. Actually, I'm not even sure what my ranking is right now. I can't actually decide between two. What is gonna be my number 6 for tonight. But I think I have decided. Yeah, I have decided. My number 6 is Spider-Woman issue number 2. I loved all these issues, so just because this is my least favorite issue doesn't mean it sucked or anything. This was an amazing issue, but it was in some ways a little underwhelming. But it had a great ending, a great twist ending, kind of. Well, not really that much of a twist, but it was pretty cool. And also, maybe one of the things I just thought of this also that might make this my least favorite is the misleading cover. It's not that it's misleading. I mean, I think they just have this as the cover because they wanted to use these characters on the same cover, and they couldn't for the first issue. But it's kind of misleading because we don't get to see Ben Urich or Porcupine, whatever his name is, in this issue. We do get to see some pretty cool, like, the character development with Spider-Woman being pregnant is pretty cool, so that's exciting. In the continuations from the first issue, it was all exciting and new to see, and I think people really like this, the new developments happening in this book with Spider-Woman being pregnant. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to my number 5, which really, and this is weird, but Deadpool number 5 is my number 5 for today. I thought this was gonna be better, but at the same time, this was also awesome. This might have been the most, I don't know, this was kind of like the most, this might have been the most, no, I don't know. This was actually a more serious Deadpool book, and actually we got to see, the emotions, Wade's emotions, really flowing in this issue. We also got to see the effects of being in Deadpool's brain, Wade's brain, did to Madcap, and it really screwed him up. We also have another great secret cover variant here. I'm gonna be getting these from now on as my regular covers, because these covers are great. I'm actually gonna go back sometime and search for the rest of these for the first 4 issues. No, first 3 issues, I mean, sorry. And I'm also going to go back and get other covers in general, like the past 2 normal covers, which actually today, the normal cover for this issue was in my pull list, because last time there was a lot missing from my pull list, but it turns out they had another bag for me or something. This was pretty good, though. We got to see, it was basically one big team up of the Mercs for Money or whatever they're called, Deadpool's employees, his other Deadpools, that you might say, the Rainbow Deadpool Corps, I'm going to call them. They all kind of teamed up together. They even had some help from the Uncanny Avengers, like Quicksilver. I think he was actually the only one who maybe helped besides Captain America behind the scenes, but we didn't really get to see him in this issue. And overall, it was just a really awesome experience. So yeah. Oh God, sorry. My number 4 is coming up right here, and I actually can't remember what happened in one of these issues all of a sudden. Okay, my number 4 is actually the one I can't really remember fully. Actually, I can remember, it's just like kind of having brain fire right now. And my number 4 is the Amazing Spider-Man number 6. This is the highest, not the highest, but this is a pretty high spot, in terms of Amazing Spider-Man thus far with this new volume. It's usually in like the bottom 2 spots on my list, but it has made it to number 4 today out of 6. So this did really good. This was a great issue of the Amazing Spider-Man. Actually, the ending was, now I'm looking back, so it was a little underwhelming. This would have been higher on this list, but the art was a little spotty in this book. The way Peter Parker was drawn in this book was god-awful. Just saying, it was. I love the whole concept of, spoiler alert, in this, Mr. Negative has, he has kind of drugged, Cloak and Dagger, and now the costumes are all switched, like, Cloak is, now in a white costume and Dagger's in a black costume. It should be the other way around. So it's pretty cool concept. They actually, costumes look kind of better that way. I like how they look in the costumes. And actually, I don't know if this is kind of like foreshadowing. We might get a Cloak and Dagger series, but if we do, I might have to pick that up. But great developments in the story. Also, Mr. Negative is actually probably in my top 10 Spider-Man villains. He's actually probably one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, at least out of the Spider-Man books I own, because and one of my favorite Spider-Man little story arcs that I've read. He is a big part of it. It's like the prelude to Spider Island. It's a really good story. If you haven't read that, try to go find it at your local comic shop, because that's a really good story. But yeah, I'm just gonna move on, I think, to my number 3. Which, speaking of Spotty, this was actually gonna be my number 2, but now it's my number 3. I've decided. Batman Robin Eternal, number 13. This was gonna be my number 2, but I've decided, because there was Spotty art for sure in this book. First of all, I want to talk about like the main characters in these books have been drawn terribly for some reason. Dick Grayson, who I'm not saying is the main character, there's a lot of main characters in this book. Everybody's basically a main character. But Dick Grayson was drawn horribly. He wasn't even in this for that long, like the last few pages or whatever, but he was drawn horribly in this issue. I don't know who the artist was. Actually, I do. It's Snyder, but it was awful. Also, the art in the beginning of the book looked really crappy too. At first, when I opened this book up, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be bad, isn't it? But then it really turned out really good. This was actually one of my favorite issues of Batman and Robin Eternal. I know I just shit on it a lot, but this was actually a really good issue, a really good story. Cassandra Cain is one of my favorite characters, and she was definitely the focus, as you can probably tell by the cover. Amazing story development and everything. We got to see her background and why Cassandra Cain is so screwed up, and like, oh my god, this is like, this story is kind of intense. It's awesome. And if you, for some reason, aren't reading the series, I know it's weekly, but believe it or not, weekly series, at least from my experience, are usually really good. So yeah, I picked this up. I'd try to catch up now, even though it's already kind of so far to catch up, because this issue was great. This great storytelling right in this series. Anyway, we were down to my final two, so which will be my number 2 and which will be my number 1. We have Spider-Man / Deadpool number 1 left, and we have Invincible Iron Man number 5. Oh my god, I actually don't even know anymore. You know what? No, I'm gonna go with my heart and my gut here, and go with my original ranking, kind of. Invincible Iron Man number 5 is my number 2, which leaves Spider-Man / Deadpool number 1 is my number 1. I don't think a number 1 has ever ranked this number 1 on my list, and if it has, I can't remember. Actually, yes, it has. It might have been Iron Man that did it itself, but it's weird because there was some parts of Spider-Man / Deadpool. It was kind of a long story for me to read, in a way, and it was kind of like, whatever. It was a little underwhelming at points, but it was also one of my favorite stories I think I've ever read, because it was, I don't know, it made me laugh, and I just really enjoyed it. But let's talk about Invincible Iron Man number 5 first. Oh my god, talking about great storytelling. Actually, if it wasn't for certain things, which I'll get to when we talk about Spider-Man / Deadpool number 1, this would definitely be my number 1, because this issue was amazing. I probably say this every time, I feel like I do, but this might be my favorite issue of Iron Man yet. This story gets better with every issue. Brian Michael Bendis is probably my favorite writer, if not one of my favorites. He is an amazing writer. Also, Marquez, the artist in this book, is awesome too. He probably is one of my favorite artists. And then Justin Ponzer, I actually know his first name because he is a guy who he's the guy who does the colors for a lot of the Ultimate books, or did do the colors for a lot of the Ultimate books since the Ultimate Universe is no more. And his colors are amazing, and the colors in this book might be the best. Overall, this is probably my favorite comic team that I have seen. I've never been I kind of almost want to write in, because that's how much I love this series, and I've never done that before. This is incredible. We got to see Doctor Doom more. We finally got to see Whitney Frostface, otherwise known as, Madame Mask. We got the revolution of Madame Mask. Like I said, we already saw more Doctor Doom. We got to see more interaction between, the first real interaction between Iron Man / Tony Stark and Mary Jane Watson, especially at the end of the issue, which was awesome. And it looks like Mary Jane's going to come work for Stark Industries and help Tony behind the scenes and keep track of all his life important stuff. Not really his Iron Man stuff, or maybe, I can't remember fully, but I think it's more of his life things, not really so much the superhero stuff, because she doesn't really like superheroes seem to screw her life up. And oh my god, we also got to see an awesome moment between the awesome facial hair bros, which is, if you don't know or not reading the series for some strange reason, if you're not reading the series, you are, no offense, but that's just a stupid decision, because this is an amazing series. But the awesome facial hair bros or Tony and Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange even came to he even said it himself this time, because he was like, "Oh, get out of here," and whatever. He was I'm like he was kind of annoyed by Tony, but in this issue he actually said the Awesome Facial Hair Bros himself. He's like, "I had to do it because we're the Awesome Facial Hair Bros," and that might have been the best part of the book, because that's cool. So him and Tony are like, it's cool right now. And actually, I might start reading Doctor Strange soon, because he seems like a really awesome character. But yeah, we're gonna move on to my number one. I feel like after the talk I just had that this should be my number one, but for some reason I feel inclined to give Spider-Man vs. Deadpool number one in my number one spot today. First of all, before we talk with the actual story, I kind of just did this with Iron Man, but the story and the art in this book, I actually don't even know who did what, because this is a variant cover and it doesn't say on the front, but the art, especially in this book, was amazing. The colors, too, were great. The chemistry between these two characters and the personality differences makes for some of the most amazing and interesting stories I have read. Not that I've read anything else with them in it together, besides, I guess, the first issue of Uncanny Avengers, where Spider-Man quit, and we're still waiting if he's going to come back or not, which I have a feeling he will still, especially after reading this issue again. But actually, this was probably the most fourth wall breaking. I think Spider-Man even did some fourth wall breaking in this, not even just Deadpool. But we also this was the most parental adversary advised. Like, this is the most adult orientated book I think I've read. The most, at least Deadpool, the most adult orientated Deadpool book I've read yet. Even Spider-Man was saying some kind of dirty things, which was funny. We got the, oh my god, this book was just hilarious. And the cliffhanger for this issue was great. Also, I think why this also made my number one, and I talked about this in the Comic Call number 41, but this book also came with Vision number one, and that was also a pretty good story. At first, I was kind of like, I'm not really enjoying this, but as the story continued, Vision issue number one was really good, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. Vision number one, because I'm probably going to end up buying that actually, and probably continuing the story, because that got me hooked enough where I kind of want to see where it goes next, because something big happened at the end of that issue too. But you guys actually semi-soon will, I just moved, so my recording is probably all off. I'm surprised I actually did 2 videos today, but I mean, I just had extra time, but like I said, my day's busy tomorrow. But you guys hopefully soon will be getting some sort of Comic Sans / review video on some comic. I don't know what, but hopefully something. But I'm gonna end the video now. I hope you guys watched and enjoyed this video. If you did, if you want to, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and even share the video if you want to. I can't force you. But anyway, I'll see y'all later, and peace out. And make sure you tune in either tomorrow or Monday for the Comic Countdown number 13 for my haul that came out today. And if you haven't watched the past 2 comic calls, I recommend you go, and actually not just the last 2, just if you haven't seen today's comic call yet, I recommend you go watch that. In fact, you guys will also either tomorrow, or I almost want to do it tonight, but you're not getting it tonight. Either tomorrow or Monday, you guys are also getting the next Funko Spotlight, because I still have 6 more of those to do. But anyway, like I said, I'll see you all later, and peace out.